Hello everyone, with GATE architecture and planning approaching soon, we at KP GATE classes are going to start our 45-day capsule course wherein we will be covering the entire syllabus for the GATE architecture and planning in a full-fledged manner for the upcoming GATE examination. And in this video, we will be looking into the introductory part of this particular course. I'll be taking you through the details of what will be our teaching methodology, what should be your preparation strategy for these last few months of time before the examination. So let us first begin with respect to this particular course. Like I told you, it will be a 45 to 50 day course approximately. This is going to start from 10th of December. So at the point of time you're going to start your classes for this particular course, you will be having approximately 2 months of time for the examination. So it requires this minimum time. This would be the minimum required efforts to have a full-fledged preparation for the examination. So let me first take you through the details of the timeline. What are we going to look at? So at the point where we are in terms of timeline with respect to the GATE examination, let us have an overview as to what is the available time, what is the efforts required, and what would be the overview of our curriculum for this particular capsule course, which is going to start from 10th of this month. So first and foremost, as you are aware, the official date for the examination has been released, and GATE architecture AR of 2026 is scheduled for the forenoon session, for the second session, the afternoon session of the 15th of February 2026. So that is the target date basically. Now, in order to complete, like I said, we are at the point of time we are going to start with this session, this particular course from 10th of February, 10th of December. You will be having approximately 2 months of time, and we will be requiring this amount of time, like 45 to 50 days of time at least, to cover the syllabus. So as far as the classes are considered in this capsule course, this is going to be an intensive course because of the available time and the content to cover. Obviously, we will be requiring a continuous effort on daily basis. So the lectures in this particular course will almost be every day. So it's like 6 to 7 days. Sometimes it would be 6 days. We try to give a break sometimes in the course of this, in the duration of these 2 months of time. As far as the capsule course is considered, this, as I told you, is going to start from the 10th of December of this month, 10th December 2025. Before I tell you about the details of this course, let me first tell you who is it most suitable for, or what is this course about. So first and foremost, we will be covering the entire syllabus of the examination of the GATE architecture and planning, which includes the architecture part, planning part, and the common part as well. As far as the general aptitude portion is considered, this amount of time is not sufficient to have the live classes for the general aptitude. So you would be provided resources for your self-paced study for that particular topic, which is the general aptitude portion. That said, as far as the core topics are considered, that is architecture, planning, and also the common part, we will be covering all the topics of that particular portion, with exception so there are some intricacies we will be looking into. I'll take you through the subject level understanding. There could be a subject or two which you will need to cover under self-paced recorded references. We will talk about that. I'll guide you through it as well. But one thing you can be sure is that the complete course will be covered in this particular span of time. Who is it most suitable for? I would say it is suitable mainly for two categories of students. One, for those who have been covering. So if you are someone who have been covering the syllabus of the GATE examination, you have been solving the past GATE papers for the past few months, you are targeting for a good rank in the upcoming examination, and you have studied a lot, but still you want to organize what you have studied and orient it in a direction that you maximize your score. Basically, studying and understanding concepts is one thing, and orienting all that preparation into a direction which will turn into marks, that is ultimately what matters in the competitive exams like GATE. So this is suitable for those students who, if you have been doing your self-study already, and if you are looking for an orientation towards marks, if you want to capitalize on the concepts and you want to give a direction to the concepts which you already have studied, and if you want to convert that into marks basically as an output. So that is, if you're someone who is looking for that, I would say this is the ideal course for you, because even though it is an intensive course where you'll be having live classes of all the topics, it will give you a sense of direction because you already have a foundation which you have been building upon. You can capitalize on that easily. Secondly, if you have not studied, or if you have not done a perfect study, probably you have covered some topics then and there, just whenever you get some time. But if you have not done a perfect dedicated study for the GATE examination, and given these last 2 months which are the most crucial portion of the preparation part, if you want to maximize your if you want to maximize the output of your efforts, now giving in efforts is one thing, the effort should be in the right direction to maximize the output of it. Again, talking about marks, if you want to, like for instance, let us say you are preparing, you have a plan to prepare your concepts for the next 2 months, and you feel that you can score say 60 marks, which will give you a good rank in the GATE examination. If you are going to do, if you are having the same efforts in a guided direction, the right direction through guides or guidance from the experienced team of us, obviously you can increase that bandwidth, you can increase that, instead of 60 you can target for 70. So if you want to maximize the output for your efforts, or if you want to maximize the output of the next 2 months of time, that is also a suitable say category of candidates for whom this course would be ideal. So whichever, if you feel, so the ultimate outcome, if you want to have a sense of direction to capitalize on the next 2 months and build up on the knowledge you have, then you should for sure enroll into the upcoming capsule course, and you will for sure find it beneficial. Now coming to the methodology of ours, what are we going to follow in the next 2 months, and how are we going to cover the syllabus for the examination? So like I told you, our classes are going to start from 10th of December. The classes will be in the evening time, in most of the instances, with very few exceptions. If there is a daytime class, that would be only on Sunday, but with exception to that, on all other weekdays and also on Saturday, classes will be strictly only in the evening duration, which will always be from around 7 o'clock itself. So we will be having classes approximately 3 hours. I'm saying approximately because sometimes if the topic demands, we might need to increase the duration of the lecture also. So but on an average it would be a 3-hour class, 3 hours per lecture per class, and you will be having 6 to 7 classes per week. So that's the schedule we will be sticking to across for the next few months. So this is the minimum effort which is required given the vastness of the syllabus we need to cover. So that is something which will need to be, so from your end, let me also give you an idea on what are the efforts which would be required in addition to this. So you'll need to attend all the live, if you're enrolling into the capsule course, you should be, ensure yourself that you can give in these efforts which will be the requirement of this course. 3 hours per class every day in the evening after 7 o'clock, and there will be 6 to 7 classes per week. Sometimes they could be, if required, if some topic is left out, because we do have a plan with which we go, but sometimes there is a possibility of some lectures require some additional input or in additional time. If that is the requirement, we might need to schedule an extra class in the daytime, which would be only on the Sundays, like I said. In addition to this, obviously you will need some extra time for your self-study as well. Self-study mainly focused around 2 areas. One would be the self-paced study for the general aptitude. The resources will be provided to you. The required resources include the study material, practice questions, and also lectures, recorded lectures, which you can view at your convenience. So you'll need to cover the general aptitude part. Let me tell you, general aptitude is very crucial to get a good rank in the GATE examination, because it has a weightage of fixed weightage of 15 marks every year. We'll talk about general aptitude also, and how to strategize your preparation for that. And in addition to that, you also have another subject which comes under the planning part. So basically some topics which might not require, which might not say have the same input from the faculty's direction, which are more theoretical oriented. In such topics you can so one such topic is the planning technique management, which you can cover from your end at a self-paced steady manner, which for which the resources, again including book, the study material, and also the practice test, and also the recorded lectures will be provided. So self-study would mainly be required for these two areas, general aptitude and PTM, that is planning technique management. In addition to that, there would be practice, regular practice, for which all the resources, now you need not waste your time to look for the resources. Everything will be provided to you from our end. All you need to do is attend the classes, complete the self-paced recorded lectures for these two subjects which will be provided to you, and also complete all the practice sheets and also the tests. For practice, you have practice question sheets for your homework, and you will also have some tests allotted to you for your practice. So these are something which you need to focus around. So this portion will additionally require an average of around 2 hours per day if I divide it on daily basis. If you're someone who cannot dedicate 2 hours on daily basis, then you'll need to increase your input in the weekends, that is Saturday and Sunday. If you can allocate higher number of hours, that would balance the regularity which is actually expected. However, live lectures which are conducted 3 hours per day, so these live classes ensure that you attend them then and there because you don't have time. If things get piled up, you don't have time to complete the backlog subject once you leave it out. So that should be the target. I hope you get an idea on the framework which we are targeting for the upcoming 45 to 50 days. To begin with, one of the best way I always recommend students who are starting their preparation or who are starting intensive preparation, if you have been doing not a very intensive study but you are going to start that for the last 2 months, that's what toppers generally do. Whatever the level of commitment you had for the past few months, these last 2 months are going to be very crucial, where you need to give your commitment for the GATE examination. All the students, we always recommend to begin first by looking into the inspiration. So you can check out a YouTube channel, the same channel where you are watching this video. You can look into those the video testimonials of our past students, not to understand how much they scored or what was their experience during the examination. It is more to understand about the revision. You should focus. So everyone has their own story of the revision, everyone has their own journey for preparation. Get an, and I'm sure that at least you will be able to relate to at least one of their say approach, of you would fall into category of at least one of the past toppers. So get in, have a look at those the interactions which we have had with the toppers of the past. I'm sure that will help you build up your own strategy for the revision for the upcoming few days. As far as the framework, I'm sure you all know from our past videos also about this, that we at KP classes, based on our past experience for more than 8 years with the GATE architecture and planning examination, we have developed, so based on the official syllabus, based on the past GATE questions, based on the pattern of the question paper, we have developed a curriculum wherein we have 24 subjects, and by the end of your preparation, be it self-study or the classes, you should be done with all these subjects to cover the entire syllabus of architecture part, common part and planning part. Once you enroll into the classes, you will be shared with the required resources other than the classes, tests, practice sheets and also study material books. Along with that, that is the core part of the course you will enroll into, but other than that you will get additional resources including this analysis of the subjects. Like you have various subjects listed, each subject which part it comes under. Is it common part, architecture part, or planning part? There are some subjects, for example climatology, some portion of it would fall into the common part, some of it is also into the architecture part. So the detailed analysis of each and every subject level understanding, that would be shared with you, along with the detailed schedule. So the complete schedule for the 45 to 50 days upcoming classes, what would be the duration of each class, that would be shared. A tentative schedule would be shared with you, so you can plan out your personal commitments also during this period, along with the GATE examination and GATE preparation. So that will help you have a planned approach for the next 45 days. Like I said, we'll cover all these topics in the live classes of this particular course itself, including architectural graphics, history, climatology, lighting, acoustics, environment, building rating systems, building materials, construction, estimation, valuation, project management, contracts, planning, housing, so on. Have all these subjects. with exception, like I told you, of general aptitude, which will be provided as recorded lectures for your self-paced study, and also the planning technique management, which mainly focuses, so this is PTM, the subject of planning technique management is into the planning part. So if you are someone who has decided to attempt the architecture part, then this subject of PTM, you can do it so you can just cover the basics of it instead of giving it 100% commitment. You can always do that if you are if you're starting your preparation for the last few months of time, and if you don't have time to cover the entire thing. That's the good thing about architecture gate pattern. You can have a secondary emphasis on some topics. The primary emphasis can be any one part which is scoring for you, be it architecture or planning, and secondary emphasis you can have on the remaining subjects. So I can also tell you on this, if you're someone who's going to start your preparation just now, because you don't have a huge amount of time, you can leave out some large subjects, like for instance history of architecture, which is in the architecture part, which is a bit lengthy and it is a vast topic, and also structural analysis, structures under the architecture part. You can skip out these subjects and focus on the planning part. That can be done, but do it always with the understanding that there are always questions, deviations from the official pattern. There are questions from structures also asked, numerical questions of 2 marks from structures are also asked in the common part. That has happened even in the recent gate papers. So the basics of every subject you have to cover. Don't leave out anything completely, but you can have a primary emphasis on some topics particularly. And I'm sure you know that the common part has the maximum weightage of 60 marks, whereas whatever portion, architecture or planning you select, you will have only 25 marks from that portion. So do not waste your time on understanding what to leave from the syllabus. Know what to focus on. Your focus should be on the maximum chunk of 60 marks, which would be from the common part. And the course also is oriented towards scoring highest marks. So for course itself is designed in such a way that our emphasis would be on the scoring areas to maximize the output of the time and the duration of efforts you're putting in at this point of time. So maximizing the outcome is important. So plan accordingly. To just give you a guidance on the general aptitude portion, like I told you, which you can do it in parallel to the ongoing classes in this particular course. For general aptitude, there are two things. One, it is very important to score good in that because you'll have a weightage of 15 marks from 10 questions in the examination, and it is very vast because it includes logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, and also it includes the diagrammatic reasoning, including verbal ability as well, basic English. So it is vast. Now it might sound scary, but let me tell you the good part. The good part about general aptitude is that it is generally very easy. Out of 10 questions which you have in every gate paper, you can take out any past gate paper, look into the 10 questions of general aptitude, and I'm sure you can at least answer 5 questions without any preparation also. For instance, these two are the questions from the 2025 gate architecture question paper from the general aptitude. If you look into this particular question, for instance, which of the following options has the correct sequence of objects arranged in the increasing number of lines of symmetry? So they're given some shapes. They're asking which is having so what is the sequence in increasing number of lines of symmetry? For what is line of symmetry? For example, if you look into a circle, how many lines of symmetry can circle have? It can have infinite, all the diameter. So a circle can have infinite lines of symmetry, because a line drawn along any diameter at any angle, it will be a line of symmetry. So obviously circle has to be at the end in the increasing order. So this option right away is not correct. Now circle is at the end at the remaining 3 options. So it is very easy to think and have this approach actually. If you look into the isosceles triangle, so you have isosceles triangle, equilateral triangle and square. Isosceles triangle will have only one line of symmetry along this particular axis, wherein you have the 2 equal sides on both the sides of that axis. That will have the minimum lines of symmetry, so obviously that should be in the beginning. So C also is eliminated. So what I mean to say is there are questions which are very easy. This is a 2 marks question from 2025 gate paper. Similarly, one more question of diagrammatic reasoning, logical reasoning. Basically it's based on mirror image and rotation. So you have a diagram given, they're asking you to flip it along this dotted line, rotate it by 90 degrees and select the option. So for particularly architecture and planning students, these questions are going to be very easy. So just out of those 15 marks, 4 marks of question is already very easy and you can easily solve them without much preparation. So be confident on the general aptitude part, but don't neglect it at the same point of time, because it has 15 marks of weightage. And setting target for any competitive exam, it is important to know what you're getting into, what are you expecting out of it. So if you look into the past cutoff, the cutoff can range anywhere between say 37 or say 33 marks. It can range anywhere from 33 marks till up to 41 and a half marks. That was the highest cutoff of last 6 years. If you see the 2025 paper, the cutoff was 40 out of 100 marks. So it's not very low as well. It's not like you will pass you'll get a scorecard even if you get 20 marks. No, you should score at least 40 marks. Generally around 40 marks is the cutoff. But that said, you need not target for say 100 or 90 or say not even 85. In last year distribution of candidates and their score, if you see, only one student, who was our student Jayant, scored 80 plus marks. So it's not that difficult basically. And if you look into number of candidates from 70 plus category, it was only 13 students who scored 70 plus. So if you are able to get that score of 70 plus, you will be amongst the toppers for this examination, which is very much doable. But you need two things: you need to have commitment and put in efforts, and those efforts would be in the right direction. So if you are looking for that direction part, that's where we come into picture. You can enroll into our classes, wherein you will be having all the resources, including live classes as per the schedule which I discussed. You will be having the practice sheets for every class. Whatever has to be practiced, that would be shared with you. The study material will be available to you in the online form, because see, you don't have that amount of time right now to read each and every page from a physical book. So we understand that, and for that you have an online access of the set of 10 books which you have for the GATE examination. All the subjects will be covered in these books, so you can do this, you can cover the study material at your self-paced manner. And the books are also already a smart learning tool, because they are embedded with QR codes. Wherever you want to understand a particular concept which is difficult, a QR code would be provided generally for the difficult concepts, scanning which you will be redirected to a video explanation of that particular concept. So you can make use of these books. And most important in the last moment of in this time would be the revision. Short notes and revision is very important. So your study should be oriented in that direction. Make sure you make proper running notes of the classes you are attending, from which you need to come up with short notes. Short notes are basically leaflets, not more than 1 or 2 A4 sheets per subject. You should have the short notes with important formulae, important terms listed down in a piece of paper for every subject. Let me tell you something interesting, because I'm telling you and emphasizing the importance of short notes. Now you cannot borrow short notes from your friend, that would be useless. So be it notes, short notes, everything should be handwritten, should be made by yourself. That commitment and efforts is required for the examination. Remember that, because when you read a particular term in the short notes, that should create a backlink to where you have studied that from. When you're writing something onto short notes, that should link to something else which you have studied in the notes, something else which you have listened to the faculty teaching in the class. So that link is created only when you make the notes yourself. So remember that importance. And lastly, practicing the past GATE questions and also the tests. These are going to be crucial to boost up your confidence in the last few months of your preparation. All these resources will be a part of the curriculum of this capsule course. So if you are looking for any guided preparation for the last 2 months, enroll into the capsule course to maximize the output of your efforts. And we will begin our classes from 10th of December, like I said. So enroll at the earliest. Thank you.
KP Classes, dedicated to excellence.